What's happening, everybody? Yeah, I'm on. I'm on. I uh I was putting together a griddle. We got a Blackstone griddle, like one of those really big ones, and I'm wanting to cook like uh breakfast for dinner tonight. That's I'm hoping I can. Like pancakes and scrambled eggs and all that stuff. So, man, there's a lot of people talking, so let's hey, I don't know if I can go back through all this stuff. Got a lot of people on right now. Good, good, good. That's awesome. A lot of hellos. Melissa, hello to you too. Let's see. This thing's not going to let me flip through them all. I was going to say hi to everybody, but hello, everybody. I'm just going to go down to the bottom, and if you left something at the top, just relieve it, because there's no way it's going to let me go through all that. So make sure that you go to the top, and instead of having top chat, you put live chat. Uh, Helps to make sure that you guys can see everything. How's everybody doing today? Got a couple of, let's see, Monica and Anthony are both on. They're both in Fun Size. They're all members. Fun Size explaining how to do the giveaway. Awesome. Mike Brown says, does anybody have the gagging problem? We've talked about that plenty. You can cut. The cool thing about these, you can adjust them to where you don't have as much on the roof of your mouth, and then you don't have any gagging issue. That's why mine are so much shorter. Let me see if I can show you this. Like they usually, instead of being up here, they're usually even. But I've cut off that little kind of loop here, that U shape, because my gag reflex is like right there. Still a lot going. Hey, at least my live chat thing is working, so that's awesome. Big group in here tonight, Sativa. You're right. The big crowns. The crowns are for the top people that are talking. So the more people that get involved, it just shows who's like the top person that's conversing in the live chat. Monica, you said you have questions. Go ahead and start. That's what these Saturday or Sunday lives are for. So make sure you guys can ask what you want, what you can. Got a lot of people on today. We didn't have this many last week, I don't think. Candy, you are very welcome. Depends on what you're talking about, Monica. She said, "How do I know if my dentures are too big? I'm just not, or am I just not doing them right?" So, if you did step one correctly and you used the uh, trays and it fit right, then you got the right size. But if the tray didn't fit, then that would tell you if it's too big or too small. Um, a lot of times people will put these in their mouth and then they'll still say that they feel really big in their mouth. And most of the time it's because you didn't push up enough. Like you've got a lot of that heat and mold where your ridge is going to be around here. And remember, a centimeter or an inch is like a mile in your mouth. So you've got to when these are in the heat and mold malleable form, you've got to push them up in. So a lot of people will take them and put them in and place them in all gently and stuff and get them. You've got to push these up in to where part of your actual ridge rests on top of the acrylic. And then that's when you know when to stop. But if you have a lot of this heat and mold between your gums and the acrylic, it's going to make it seem like your teeth are, instead of up here, it's going to move them down and the bottom one's up, and it's going to make it feel like it's way too big. I had that same issue the first time I ever did it. And I wore them all the way to Wichita and back, and I could barely close my lips around it, and just hated it. So I came back, and what I actually did, since I already had it pretty much formed, is I got it malleable, and I stuck them both in to get them just a little malleable, and then I put them both in my mouth and bit down as hard as I could, so it just settled in, and then it was perfect after that. I just had to do a few adjustments, and it was awesome. So if try that first before you think they're too big, because a lot of times that's the case. A lot of people have told me that they still feel big in their mouth. They can barely close their lips. It's because they haven't pushed it up in or pushed the other one down far enough. You've got too much between your ridge and the acrylic that you just got to push it in. Pat says cutting off the back so you don't gag was what makes now dentures better than dentures from the dentist. You can't do that with regular dentures. You can use a Dremel on the acrylic on regular dentures, but you can't just cut them off. That acrylic's pretty tough. I was reading through that for a second. Audra wants to know, are they really worth it? I'm so scared of wasting my money. There's a couple people in here right now that have them, including me. I think they're more than worth it. I have more than enough money now to go to a dentist and get regular dentures, and I just don't see the point in it because I can adjust these anytime I need to. These are awesome, and they look great. So I've had tons of compliments. Well, somebody's here. Somebody was yelling and knocking on my door. Hi, Lexi. I have a little bit of an overbite too, Monica, and I just basically got the top right and I let the bottom adjust to it. And that's why you can see there's a lot in the front, because my bottom ridge actually sets back in my mouth. Some people have way too much of an overbite, and I just don't know how it would. I don't know how, if your overbite's really, really big, how this would work, because it has that little ridge in it. But you have a lot of play in between. So I've got a ton on the front here because my bottom gum's set back, and it works pretty fine. Will the now dentures work if I have studs in my gums? I've actually seen this quite a bit of times now. I've had a lot of people ask that same question. I'd like to know. I don't know. I don't have studs in mine, so you must have had the implant dentures at some point. I would like to know that. I think if somebody got out and actually got these, I don't think they will, because I've had people that have broken teeth all the way to the gums around that said that they didn't work. So depending on how they did it, if you could go in and map out where your studs are, and then go in and kind of drill in the size of your studs around and then put it up in, I bet it would. Like, I have enough maker in me to, like, if I had it, I think I could make it work, but it's probably not going to be easy. You're going to have to do a lot of work on it. I wouldn't say, like, if you're wanting an easy denture that you can go in and just have it done and get it out of the way. It's not that. Like, you're gonna have to put some work into it. Sativa says you saw a lady that got them. We need to find more people who are willing to get on and at least send me videos, and I'll make it like a compilation. Paulette said, yes, my friend, I've shared your videos, and I like the idea of no realignment trips to the dentist. That's that's like my favorite thing about it, I think. You think? You're welcome, Monica. Terry said, I bought implants and the top broke in the first year. I've heard they're fairly thin and they're pretty easy to break. There's a lot of videos online saying like before you get implants, make sure you watch this, and it goes through like the do's and don'ts and the pitfalls of the implants, like the implant dentures, not the individual teeth implants, but the where they do just, you know, the U in the teeth and it pops up in there. I've heard a lot of people making videos of that. This is going so fast. It usually doesn't go this fast, so bear with me. I'm trying. I try to answer everybody's if I can. If I don't get to you, try to re-ask it. But this is exactly why a lot of people do the whole do a super chat if you want an answer. I don't do that, but this is why, because it's so hard to get through this when they're going really, really fast. And there's really not as many people right here in this one tonight that a lot of other people have. It's not like we got thousands or anything, but it's more than usual, so I'm not used to it. Paulette said, I'm late. Is this the giveaway? No, it's not tonight. So I said in that video that I'm waiting until that video goes to 2,000, and then I'm going to make the announcement on here once it reaches that. So share it, and the faster it gets to 2,000 views, the faster we'll do the giveaway. How did they do with stains like coffee colors and stuff? We've talked about this on several lives. The actual thermoplastic itself, no matter what thermoplastic you get, it does stain, unfortunately. The acrylic and the teeth, the acrylic part here that the teeth go into and the teeth themselves, they don't stain at all. They stay the same. It's just the thermoplastic up top, which you can see in mine. All you can see is the teeth and the acrylic. You don't even see the thermoplastic. So with me, it doesn't really matter. Cigarettes stain it really bad, and anything with red 40 dye or anything like that, and dyes it pretty bad. And eventually, if it bugs you and you can see it, I've got a video that shows you how to go in and change out your thermoplastic in it and where to buy this thermoplastic stuff at that actually matches. It's really not that hard to do. It's just basically like remaking it. And by the time you get it perfect in your mouth, you're going to be such a professional at it anyways that you'll be good to go. I eat candy and drink coffee and stuff all the time though. So Shannon Cat said yours arrived Tuesday. That's awesome. Good luck with it. I know you'll do good. Whoops. I skipped by that. I seen one that I wanted to read and then it just skipped over it. Hold on. Dang. Okay. Monica said Bryson's fit him so well and looks so good. And that's the thing. These I took a lot of time getting these perfect. I did. These ones here, I haven't spent nearly as much time getting them perfect. But I think I'm going to spend some time this next week really like kind of tinkering with these so I have two perfect pairs. But man, these fit amazingly. I haven't had to adjust them since I put them in. I mean, these are the ones that I do in the video where I show you guys how to do them by themselves. No. These are the ones that I did in the original Now Denture video where I showed you guys how to do it. That one that has like 300 and some thousand views. This is the pair that I did in that, and I haven't had to mess with them since. So, after that video, I messed with them for like a week, and after I got them solid and perfect, I haven't had to mess with them since. Yeah, Red Bull definitely ruins the adhesive. It's like a cheat code, I'm telling you. At the end of the day, if you swash your mouth with Red Bull, it helps you get that nasty, grimy, at least Fixodent. Like, Fixodent, it works really well on, and I think, what's the other one? Polydent, but those weird ones that I got from Amazon that I made the video on, it doesn't help with that at all. Fun size, by the way, how are yours doing? Have you gotten them just right yet? I see you answering people's questions, so I wanna see how you're doing. If you're able to eat a bunch of stuff you haven't been able to eat before. Yep, Easy Denture does sell it as a denture liner. That's the one that I show in that video. Looks like you have crowns put in all your teeth, huh? Does it really? I never thought of that. You guys are all so nice. I could just get on here to just stroke my ego and just feel good about myself. Just everybody saying how nice they look. I'm just kidding. Melissa, you'll have to get you some, and if you don't win the giveaway, make sure that you definitely save up and buy some because they are well worth it. Fun size says mine are great. I have it almost perfect. Yes, eating stuff is great. It takes practice. It does. That's awesome, Fun size. I appreciate that. Definitely send that to me. I'd like to do a compilation. Anthony's in here too. Uh, I mean, I don't even care if you guys just film a quick excerpt on your phone and just put it on a drive, a Google Drive or something, and tag me in it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Monica, if you go on Amazon, uh, Amazon's where I got it. Just look up Amazon and then look up Easy Denture Reliner, and it'll pop up. They're they're like the shape of the upper denture, basically. They're that shape, and it just says Easy Denture across the middle. It's a good product. I'm not a big fan of Easy Denture themselves, but they make that, and I would recommend that if you're wanting to change the color of the uh, gums up here, or at least having some extra. Because some people, whenever they're building them for the first time, they'll take too much off, or they'll get it wonky or something like that. I had somebody say I tried fitting them over and over and over again, and now I don't have any left. So I don't know what they did with it, but you could have some just in case you need it. You know what I mean? It's a slightly darker color. So that's another thing you could do is if it's not if you think that's too pink for you, you could even add them together because the thermoplastics you can mix together and it's just like yeah, it's just like mixing colored pigments together. It gives you more and it makes it just slightly darker. So I have had people tell me that it looks too pink, which I spend a lot of time, and I told you guys this last time. I spend a lot of time when I'm talking to people staring at their mouth, just because I think it's just a denture wearer thing. Because I'm like insecure and think maybe mine look weird or something. And I've noticed, you get darker skinned people that have darker, way. I've seen people with brown gums, and then way lighter people with way pinker gums. But I've also seen darker people with lighter gums and lighter people with darker gums. So I mean, it's just a gradual thing. And there's so many different DIY sets for like 30-40 bucks where you can get the thermoplastic, and they're not very good thermoplastics. But if you were to mix it with this thermoplastic and try to get a different pigment color, I mean, it'd be kind of cool. Somebody'd have to try that. Tell me how it goes. With the way that the thermoplastics work with the now dentures, when they change colors because they inevitably stain and stuff, they usually turn like an orangish color. More orangish. You can see it in that video that I made where I'm changing them out, because that one was over a year. I was wearing them for well over a year, and then took it out and changed the color and stuff in it, and it was fairly orange. See, Fun Size, you could get in here and just do one of these lives yourself. You're pretty good at answering questions. You're a new person to this, so I mean, everybody's heard me beat a dead horse forever. So it's good to hear from other people. Anthony, it just depends. He said it won't stay that bright pink forever. I quit smoking for like 2 months when I first did these ones, and I was using these pouches like crazy, and that was it. And I was staying away from the dyed foods, and it stayed that pink for I think it was 3 months. It had no color change in it, and then I started smoking again because I got all stressed out, and it was like almost immediately after I started smoking, you could tell a difference. So I think it depends on what you eat and if you smoke and if you drink coffee and stuff like that. Shannon says I do that looking at people's mouths too. Isn't that weird? I do it all the time. I think every time I talk to people, I don't look them in the eye anymore. I just look at their mouth most of the time. Jesus says I finally made it to one. You've been on one of these before, haven't you? He said I ordered medium. Oh, let me go back to this. It's going too fast. I was reading through. I ordered medium like my height, but I think they're too big. I As the teeth look big in your mouth. Uh, so some people, I mean, that unfortunately that is one of the side effects too. Is the teeth can be too big. I had somebody get the mediums and they said the teeth were too small. They were used to having way bigger teeth in their mouth. Everybody has different size teeth and stuff, and these only have the one size per size. I mean, I can see that. Um, I always tell people follow that step one because a lot of people will it'll be maybe a little loose or a little tight or something in that tray, and they'll go ahead and try to force it and try to force the one to work, and then it'll just be too big or too small or something like that. Um, Either that or they don't push it in like I was talking about earlier. Those two things. I mean, when I first got mine and I could barely close my lips, I actually thought the teeth themselves were too big. That's exactly what I thought. So you might have the same issue where you just need to push up into it a little bit more. Anyone have a natural gap? I don't. Oh, you like? I guess I don't know what you're talking about. Natural gap. However, I can't get it to go up and over my gap. Yeah, I don't. You'll have to ask somebody else. I don't know anything about a natural gap. Sometimes you got to build up that thermoplastic though in certain areas where you do have gaps and big ridges and things like that, and just to get it to set right in your mouth. I know when I first did mine, and you can see in that video when you look back. Uh, I just need to leave these out so I can stop grabbing them. When I first did mine, they did they were kind of set in my mouth like that, and then I had to build that thermoplastic in the front to get that to kind of sit down and be a little bit more straight until I got it right. And I'm way behind now. Mike Browning, I hope you get some soon too. He said hopefully I'll get some soon and we'll take photos again. I hope so, man. They're life changing. They really are. Even if you just get these until if you're waiting on getting something more expensive in the future, having these and having such a smaller goal to get to of savings, and then get these so you can wear them for a while, and then maybe I've had people get on like crazy that don't trust these. They are made by a dentist. Easy Denture also are made by dentists. They've been created with safe plastics and safe stuff so that you can wear them in your mouth all the time and they're going to work. But a lot of people still don't trust them like crazy. And I say a lot of people that don't trust them, but they still can't afford the more expensive ones. These are a good thing even if you just want to wear them as immediate dentures for a short period of time until you can save up the money to get something else. I trust them. Hey, they're created by dentists. I get they're probably made in China, so they're probably making a lot of money off of them. But this technology was created by dentists. Carrie says, my top arch fits good with adhesive, but a bit gummy looking and my bottom keeps falling out. The bottoms suck. They do. You got to find the right adhesive and you got to get them just right in your mouth. Uh, Even with regular dentures, I've said this 100 times over, even with regular dentures and even with getting these perfect, bottoms are always going to suck. They're always going to suck. You're never going to get them perfect, and you got to find that right balance of adhesive. Try to use the liquid adhesive with the powder adhesive and see if that helps it stick any better. The powder adhesive, a lot of times when people have less of a ridge for it to connect to, for some odd reason I've been told by a lot of people the powder works fantastic on that. If I want to get some extra hold and some extra stick and I want it to last longer, I do the liquid kind with the powdered kind together. And for some odd reason, man, it's golden. I love it. My bottoms, I don't usually have any issues with it. Like I've ate steaks and apples and all sorts of stuff. But I have quite a big ridge on the bottom. And I have this like spot that where, like, say this is the top of the ridge and it goes down like this, almost like a P. So my bottoms actually wrap around it. I don't know if you can see it in this. Yeah. See how there's that channel in there? So it's almost like it just wraps around that bottom part of the gum. So I got lucky on that. But I've seen people that barely have a ridge. It's just barely a bump on the bottom. And it sucks. You just have to find the right adhesive, find the right combination of adhesives. And then sometimes it's just gonna suck to have bottoms, depending on the bone loss and all that. Carrie, you'd be surprised. She said, I know this might seem gross, but I'm going to get implants about 4 or 5 months. I have women's size small. I'll give them away. Actually, when we were doing the giveaways and stuff, I got asked, because I got like 3 other pairs of now dentures that are fit to me. And I've been asked by multiple people if they could get the used ones from me. Some people are desperate. I mean, very desperate to have teeth, and I 100% get that. If I would have went without teeth for years and years, like some of you guys have had to do, man, I'd have been desperate. I 100% get it. So somebody out there might want them. Jesus says, "Is it possible to remove the back teeth?" Yeah, these are each one of these teeth. The cool thing about these is each one of these teeth are a resin tooth that's up into the acrylic. It's an individual tooth. So I've actually, on my first pair that I had, I kept taking them out by the front, like forward, and I popped one of the front teeth out. And I seen kind of how it was made, and I had to take this fix-it stuff and put it down in there. So you could literally hold this and probably take a pair of pliers and wiggle those back teeth out if you wanted to take them out. That's one of the reasons why I don't like Easy Denture though, because they don't have the back teeth, and I actually kick just about everything all the way to the back of my mouth when I chew it, and it's just like big open space with Easy Denture, and it threw me off like crazy every time I tried to eat. Anthony said I tried it with the powder and cream together and it does help, but lately I've been using the Fixodent Ultra. You like that stuff? I've never been a Fixodent Ultra fan. I don't think it's the, if I'm thinking of the right one. I love Fixodent, the Fixodent that I get that has the scope and stuff in it. But some of that gets really, I don't know, my bottoms throughout the day, my bottoms are the worst at whenever I finally take them out at the end of the day. It's like slimy and goopy on the inside. And that stuff is the worst at the end of the day. Oh, there you go. Found somebody who wants them. Oh, oh, I get it. Lil, Lil Raspberry says, I'm desperate. I 100% get it. I do. I had a guy on there that was begging me for my used ones. I like to keep them in case I ever need them. That's another thing, too. Lisa Marie says she had to grind the back teeth off to make them fit. Some people's mouths are just shaped like this, and these are set like this. Some people's mouths are shaped like this. But if your mouth, my mouth is shaped like this. Like my top gums go up and my bottom gums kind of go down. So that's why I had to build up the front to get it to kind of set evenly. Um, but I can see how grinding the back teeth off would probably get that to work a little better. Mine, I like how they are. It makes the way that I did it. I think it just makes the front teeth stick out a little bit better. See, this is what I really like, but at the same point, like it going through here and trying to, I that's why I said on that video, our Sunday lives. This is for me to answer whatever questions I can possibly answer, but it's kind of turned into its own little community thing, and I read through these and I see a lot of you guys are just talking to each other. So I'm trying to like go through here and find people asking. Just if I don't get to your question, if you have a question, re-ask it. Just re-ask it. I'm gonna stay at the bottom, so if it goes too fast and I don't get to it, just re-ask it again. Because this is like a community, and people will just talk to each other on the side and stuff, and I love that. There's no better information than when you have multiple people, like you have Fun Size in here and Anthony in here, Monica, all have now dentures, and so they are all more knowledgeable than somebody that doesn't have them. And you guys all have different, probably have had different issues. Like Anthony bought a different size at one point, and then he was like, maybe the large would be better. You know what I mean? And then he ended up winning the larges in the last giveaway. But he had a pair of mediums. So what'd you do? What'd you end up doing, Anthony? Didn't you use the large on the top and the medium on the bottom? And does that work if you mix medium and if you have a medium on the bottom and a large on the top? Because maybe your fitting trays, one of them fits and the other one doesn't. Do they match up? I would know because I have larges and they work. So I've never tried to match up a medium with a large or a large with a medium. All the information that I typically give you guys of stuff that doesn't really involve me is what Now Denture or Denture Rescue has actually told me. Like when people ask if I have no top teeth but I have bottom teeth, can I? Yes, you can. You can, and it'll look good, but it just won't match up with your existing teeth. I mean, you can sand it down and all that different stuff and get it to fit your existing teeth, which I've seen people do, but a lot of people don't have that skill. So I usually try to recommend people not to do it because, and to go with Easy Denture, even though I don't like Easy Denture, because easy denture you can bend more and you can get it to fit your original teeth a whole lot better. And I'm sure Denture Rescue is a business, so they don't want to miss out on any money and stuff. You know what I mean? So they're obviously going to tell you to do it. But I try to tell people that with caution. But if somebody actually has that information and can answer those questions, I mean, that's what this chat's for. Lisa said she ordered the medium according to weight. It's height. It would be height, right? I think it's all height. They did fit, ordered the small, and they fit much better. I've often wondered that because there's literally hardly any difference between the tops or between the large and medium. I've often wondered if a lot of the smaller women or even smaller men wouldn't prefer smalls better. I haven't actually had a small in my hands before, so I've never been able to measure it or see it or anything like that. So if you've got like measurements and stuff on smalls, like actual measurements, be sure to put that in the chat. Or you can send me an email, or you can send it to somebody. We can get that information out. In fact, I think what I might do with Denture Rescue this next week is see if they'll send me all the measurements to every one of them. Because there's also an extra large for the extra bigger guy. But I've never actually seen those either. I've only had mediums and larges in my possession. So at first, when I was first making videos, they were called small, medium, medium, large. But now they're actually small, medium, large, and extra large. I think they might have it. Do they have an extra small now? I don't remember if they do or not, but I think they might have an extra small now. Anthony, so you went full large. Okay. You should try. You should try mixing them together once or twice just to see if they will actually work together. Since you have both pair and you've formed both pairs, it'd be pretty educational. Oh, Minnie said she may have her now dentures before the giveaway. Heck yeah. You've been saving up, huh? Shannon Cat says she ordered small. Anthony said I tried the medium with the large lowers, the medium top with large lowers, but the bite felt weird. That's what I'm assuming it would. It would be just enough off. I'm sure in your mouth it would feel really weird. I don't know if there's a big difference between the small and medium. I really don't. I'm assuming it's just a slight difference, like the medium and the large. I'm assuming that, but I've never had a small on me, so I don't know. I really don't. Somebody in here that has a small, and there's a couple people in here with smalls. You should measure that. Let us know, because I've measured the medium and the large on video. Um, Measure the small. Send us the measurements according to the video or something like that. Just you can leave me a personal message or anything like that, and I'd love to answer that question. I really would. Lisa says there was quite a bit of a difference, so that's good to see. This is good information to know. I wonder if the depth of your mouth makes a difference too. And removing, Shannon Cat said she had to have her back molars removed when she was a kid. So I bet some people just have shallow mouths, You may just have to cut off the whole back end of it to get it to fit correctly. Yeah, Linda, the teeth gradually get just a tad bit smaller in each set. So the large have pretty big teeth, and then they just go smaller as you go down. Sativa, I agree with you, and you can bug Denture Rescue enough to where they will send you the trays, all of them, for 25 bucks. We had a subscriber, in fact, we had a member who was getting on. I haven't seen him on in a while. Uh, oh, what was his name? Mike? Mike something? I think it was Mike. I might be wrong. So if he's in, you might correct me. But we had a member that was getting on every Sunday and telling us, like trying to find trays that were the right size from Amazon and all this different stuff. And he bugged Denture Rescue enough that they offered him all the tray sizes for $25. So that way he didn't have to keep sending it back and forth or anything like that. He just called him and bugged him, and he got him to send him all of them. So you might call them and just see if they'll send you the trays. A couple different trays. You can call and you can get a hold of a person and you can talk to somebody. I've had people that have had success with their customer service, and I've had people that haven't had much success with their customer service. So they're still working on that. Like I said, it's kind of a newer company. I don't think there's very many people that work for this business. They're growing. Thanks to the videos I think that I've made, they're growing. But and they've got a lot of ads on YouTube now. I've noticed that. I've seen a ton of Denture Rescue ads. The actual dentist, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It's a weird name. But the actual dentist, it shows him with the now dentures and stuff. It's pretty cool. I took a screenshot of it because I'm going to put it in a video. Monica, I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying on that. She said, "Is there a big difference between the entire gum part and not just the teeth?" I don't get what you're saying there. Oh, let's see. Oh, you're talking to Anthony on that. Gums are very shallow on the top and bottom. Pretty sure that's where all my problems are coming. He'd probably be better at helping you out with that. My gums aren't really all that shallow. Linda, I agree. I think they should send the trays without the teeth for free. Um, but they have a system set up the way that they do it because you'd be surprised. I've talked to him a bunch about the whole height thing comparable to your denture size. I've talked to him a ton about that, and you'd be surprised at how many people that just works for, and people can order it all at once, and just get it all at once instead of having to wait. Um, in fact, it's a very very small percentage of people that it doesn't work on. At least that's what they've said. So they would be the expert in that because I can't tell how many people are ordering. It's got to be a lot. I've had a lot of comments from people saying that they've gotten them, they love them, all this stuff. And in fact, I'm shocked, like completely shocked that there hasn't been a lot more people making videos on them. Yeah, I think it's just the stigma behind dentures that nobody wants to put their face on camera and talk about it. Very few people want to. Oh, if there's a big difference between the teeth, then is there an actual difference between the? Yeah, I think so. I really do. There has to be. I mean, since the teeth are a little bigger, the gums have to have a little bit more in order to connect to the teeth and keep the teeth in. So I'm assuming that you're talking about the acrylic part of the gums is that kind of deeper. Since the teeth are bigger, those parts could be a tad deeper. I would have to literally. Um, I don't have a medium close to me that I can get that I can kind of look at both of those. They'd have to be though. If the teeth are bigger, there'd have to be a little bit more gum. That does make a whole lot more sense. Linda said, "What happened to Southern Gal? We haven't seen her in a while. Didn't she win a pair?" That's that's usually what happens. People kind of win their pair and then we don't see them anymore. So a couple of people have reached out to me, telling me that they've had stuff come up. You know, um, I can't even think of his name now. The dad that we gave the free set to as a community. Uh, why can't I think? King Mike King. No, can't think of his name. But it's like as soon as we gave him his, I never saw him again. And then he reached out to me a little while later, and he was watching all the lives. And some of that could be that we used to do live on Saturday night, and there was a lot of people that would get on Saturday nights and watch the lives. And then I switched it over to Sunday so me and my wife could go out on Saturday nights. And nothing much has changed at home. We don't really go out all that much. No, I'm just kidding. We go to the Mexican place quite a bit now. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen him on a live since he won. And he was on like every one of them. Uh, Southern Guy was on quite a bit. I haven't seen her in a while. There was also another one. I can't think of her, but we did a community giveaway for somebody. It might have been Southern Gal. Was it Southern Gal? I don't remember who it was for, but there was actually somebody else I wanted to give them to. That was actually when this whole first thing started. This person was one of the first people live, one of the first people to become a member on the original member scale. And I was actually going to give them to her. And then I had, like, the weekend prior she was on, and then she was never on again. And then she got a hold of me about a month ago saying that she hadn't been on because she had all this stuff come up in her life. And then I've been hoping to see her, but I still haven't seen her in a long time. I guess I shouldn't even say it out loud because then she might just show up and be like, "I'm here because I want the free pair," right? Yeah, she was gonna be my pick at one point, and then she just randomly stopped showing up. So I think we ended up giving them to somebody else. Yeah, Pat, the gum size difference is a great question. That's one thing that I'm gonna ask him for sure. I was hoping she would do a video too, and then the first two people that ended up winning, I have them all written down. I forget names so easily. Um, the first two people that won, the first giveaways, the first two people that won when I gave away that easy interest set and the first snout interest set that I got. That I the giveaways those giveaways were unsanctioned. They were extra ones that the companies gave to me just so I could show a comparison and stuff. But um, I just decided to give them away to people, and one of those two companies wasn't very happy about it. But anyways, I ended up giving those away to two people, and then I never saw them again. It's just kind of a trend, and I get it. You know, there's a lot of stigma around wearing dentures, and once you get you a good pair of teeth, and you don't have that problem of looking around anymore, and you found you a good set, and you're really comfortable with them and stuff like that, I get it. I 100% get it. It's just like if you were trying to find budget products all the time, and you were always looking for budget products, and then you won the lottery. Um, what's the point in looking for budget products anymore? You know, now dentures are not the lottery, but I mean the analogy stands. She was here today, Monica. I didn't see her on today. I guess somebody could go back through the. Monica says she's waiting for another jam session. I can't do that anymore. Whoops. The jam YouTube doesn't like the jam sessions. Oh, what was I gonna go through now? I closed everything out just so I could. Now I now I forgot what I was doing. Oh well. I guess I won't. Let me go up here. I'm gonna go up here to the earlier chat. Well, I was hoping maybe I would just see it. Said before she. Okay, I got you. I went back on it. I went back up. It didn't poke out to me, but I wasn't going super. I was going like really fast up and fast down. There's a lot at the very beginning. Well, that's good. That's good that she got on. I'd like to see how she's doing. I don't think she was on last week either. Grandma in the garden said, question, does the top teeth meet up with the bottom teeth? They do. If you get them right, they match up perfectly. They match up. Here, let me find the. I had the problem at first, and so the cheapest way to do this is if you're buying them yourself, is to order them one at a time, because then you get the discount twice. You save $20 instead of 10. The sets together are made for each other, and that's how they match up. A little bit over on the top, but oh, I can't turn it all the way around. And then these were purchased. This is the very first pair that I got. I've had these for like, man, about 2 years now. And for some odd reason, I ordered these separately, because these ones I ordered on Amazon before I even knew about Denture Rescue, before I reached out to them, before any of the business we did together. And you can see that if you put the back together, there's a space in the front. So I had to wear them more like this. It's almost like they kind of scoop up. So I don't know if maybe this was just their first design or what, but they didn't. Whenever I put them in, I got the fronts to match up, but the backs would stick up just a tad. I don't know if it was just an older pair because they came from Amazon. They're also, the acrylic's a different color. Older pair, Newer pair. Both now denture. Both from Denture Rescue. Let's see how that. Of course, the thermoplastic on the top is going to be a different color. This one's got the Easy Denture stuff on the top. This was the one that I did for that video where I changed the thermoplastic stuff out. So that's got the Easy Denture thermoplastic. But if you look at the acrylic that's right above the teeth, it's definitely a different color. And it almost looks different how it goes around the teeth. So I wonder if they had a different mold or something. But since I ordered these ones that don't match up very well separately, I've always told people if you order them together as a set, they're going to match up, because every time I've got a whole set, they've matched up good without that whole big gap in the front. So Lisa Marie said she posted a pic on YouTube. Those are the small now dentures. Jesus said I can't even close my mouth or open it, but with both in. Just trying to get uppers to work, but honestly, I think the lower won't ever. I don't know. I'd have to see it. I guess I'm not. I guess I don't. You know what I mean? Like without actually seeing it, I couldn't really give you any honest guidance or direction. It just won't shut. It's either just too big, or there's some part of it that needs to be either built up or taken more off. That's all I can really think about. Shannon says, I find it strange that denture wearing is stigmatized, but people proudly flaunt other enhancements like boob jobs. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, veneers are basically fake teeth. You're getting your teeth capped with a whole different thing, you know. I mean, I don't think there's the whole reason there's a stigma, I think, is because they have all these more expensive products, and people love to show off their more expensive stuff. And dentures are kind of the lower end of it. You know what I mean? And typically, and I know this because before I got all this stuff happening to me, I remember in my mind seeing people that, you know, I thought were lower income or something, and seeing basically if the front was all messed up but the sides were fine, you know, you would automatically think in your head maybe they smoke crack or something. You know what I mean? Like, or they're just too many cigarettes and not taking care of the teeth, because you'd get these stains in the front or something. Like, you automatically think of these things, and it's probably because you're like it's ingrained in you. You know, there's people that walk around, they'll be like, oh, that person over there, that toothless, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's kind of part of the insult. If you're missing teeth or you have cracked teeth, people like being a redhead, for example. This is a prime example. Like, part of the insult would always be something about red hair. So if any of you have red hair out there, you'd get it. You'd understand it 100%. Like, part of the insult would or having freckles, both. That's always part of the insult. I remember one time somebody was like, you redheaded, freckled face, blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I have red hair and freckles. Why is that part of the insult? You know what I mean? So when you have broken, missing teeth and stuff like that, that's always you'd be having this. And I still to this day, you know, a lot of people don't know that I have dentures. So I'll be talking to somebody and they'll just randomly say, this person over here who looks goofy with their jacked up teeth and this and that. And it's like, dude, come on. Like, you don't know what's going on in their life that causes that issue. And then that stigma just builds. It gets ingrained in your mind. And the next time you see somebody, you automatically think, oh, well, what if this? And I think because of like drugs being the main driving force of a lot of people losing their teeth, people automatically just assume it's drugs. But since I've been doing this whole denture thing, I have learned so much about cancer drugs, about certain over the counter drugs, about women who give birth, like have baby. There are women who during their pregnancy their teeth soften and will break and become brittle, and they'll lose their teeth. It's all part of the hormones in their body. Like, I mean, it's nothing to do with drugs, nothing to do with taking medication, nothing to do with cancer. It's just that their imbalance in hormones in their body causes their teeth to get just cruddy. You know what I mean? So there's far more things than drugs. And I think the more people learn that there are far more reasons why teeth get messed up than drugs, uh, the more that stigma will go away. Yeah, implants are starting to get that same stigma because they're kind of the lower end thing. You know, people think you should spend thousands and thousands at a dentist and keep taking care of your teeth. It's just like at a certain point, well, that's how mine was. I spent so much money working on my teeth that after a while, it's just like I'm just wasting money now. Like, what's the point anymore? Yeah, I've seen some of those veneer things. I wouldn't trust it. Even when I had really, really bad teeth, I never wanted to get those veneers because just imagine having decaying teeth and then capping those decaying teeth with plastic. And then all that decay stays inside there. And you're actually creating like a hotbed for that decay to spread. And it can go up in, it's not going down and going out or spreading to any other teeth. It's going straight up into your bone. It's causing decay into your bone and stuff. You could cause way more issues to yourself putting some of those fake veneers over those plastic pop-on veneers over decaying teeth. You could cause so many more problems. I mean, I noticed that right. That was one of my first thoughts when I seen those, and my teeth were really bad, and I was debating on what I was gonna do. I debated those, and it wasn't a very long debate. I was just like, "There's no way that that can be good for you, for your health or anything like that." And that's the thing. Health is a huge deal. Like you got to get those decaying teeth out. Like, and if you can't pay, if you don't have the money, and it's expensive at the dentist now. It's so expensive. It's ridiculous. If you want to get a root canal, if you want to get a cavity filled, if you want to get any of that work done, you're going to end up spending thousands. It's just like a lot of people don't have the money to get stuff fixed, and then they just got this decaying thing in their mouth. That's where all your food goes in, goes to your stomach, spreads throughout the rest of your body. Like I knew this guy when I worked at Dish, and I was talking to his wife. So I seen them in November, hooked their dish up and stuff. He was an awesome dude. I mean, we sat around and talked for like an hour, and then I went back 6 months later, and he was gone. He was dead. And when I was talking to his wife, she said that he had had really bad teeth for a long time and would refuse to go to the doctor. And that's one of the things that the doctors kind of nodded at when they were talking about he got this really bad cancer that was terminal, went super fast, straight to his brain, and he died within months. And um, the doctor said that when you have really, really, really bad tooth decay, and you just live with it for a long time, it does all sorts of damage to your body, and your body can create tumors and stuff inside of your body. It also does really bad things to your heart, and he just by the time he got cancer, he had no type of like immune system that could fight anything, and he just lost his life. Like I guess he would never go to the dentist for years and years and years. So after that, when my teeth started breaking and getting infected and doing all sorts of stuff, I immediately was like, if I can't afford to work on my teeth nonstop, then I'm just going to get all these taken out. It's for my health. It's more and more common for people to have bad teeth too because of high fructose corn syrup and other things that are put in foods as well. So everybody's got to think of that. I think there was a study that I read that talked about kids. In fact, with all the energy drinks and stuff around now that kids can just get their hands on that are basically just like tooth rot in a can, um, dentists are making so much more money from cavities and things like that than they've ever made before. Um, we are so much more unhealthy now with so much more things that can do damage to your teeth. And once it gets started, if you don't get on top of it and take care of it, like your teeth can go fast. Mine was like a combination of smoking cigarettes, drinking Red Bull, and then a genetic thing that was just there was nothing I could do. Mountain Dew. I'm telling you, they will tell you Mountain Dew is hated by dentists. My dentist said that they hate Red Bull and Monster and all that different stuff, but I guarantee they love it. They absolutely love it. If I was a dentist, I would buy stock in those things because that's your bread and butter right there. Charging $300 or $400 a tooth just to fill a simple cavity, yeah, they love it. It's filling their pockets and buying them new cars and new houses. I promise you that. Bryson, is the current discount code? It's YouTubeBM. YOUTUBEBM. That's the current discount code. Yeah, sepsis was what I was always scared of. I remember I got a tooth pulled, and they said that the infection just drained out after the tooth was pulled, and it was just like, man, that's scary. It was all the way up in my nose, so it went up through the bone and into my nose, and I could smell it. Like it smelled like a dead animal. Like everything stunk because infection stings really bad. And if you get an infection all the way up through your gums and bone into your nasal cavity, it's really bad. You're welcome. He said, Faceless Silver Stacker says thank you. How long have I been on for? 1 hour and 24 minutes. Actually, 1 hour because well, 1 hour and 14 minutes because I got on 10 minutes early. So we're going to have breakfast for dinner. Right? Are we going to have breakfast for dinner or are we going to have steak? What have we decided on? I got a new griddle that I just put together. I want to use it. Have some bacon, eggs. Yeah, Monica, you're correct. She said people can barely keep a roof over their heads nowadays going to the dentist. It is. What it is. Like, sorry to say, but with my job and then the little bit that I make from YouTube and then my wife, I mean, I make all together a little over 70,000 a year. And then my wife makes on top of that, another 30, something like that. So we're probably $100,000 a year. And we've always been told that all you need to do is make $100,000 a year now and you can buy a house. But if you go to any basic job, like where if you don't have a college degree or something like that and you just go get a blue collar job, it's hard to get any job that pays over $50,000 a year. And then making what I make now, we still get to the point where it's like we've got to decide, are we going to get this or are we going to get that? Are we going to do this or are we going to do that? Because we just don't have the money for it. And we're making like $100,000 a year. It's ridiculous. Like you shouldn't be able to make that much money. Like back in the 70s, you could you could make $30,000 a year and you could buy a new house and two new cars, one for you and one for your wife, and she could be a stay at home. Now both people have to work. You might be able to afford one vehicle with the full coverage because insurance is ridiculous. Health insurance is ridiculous. And then you kind of got to debate on when and where you're going to go to the doctor and for what, because you can barely afford anything because everybody wants your last dime and your last dollar. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's so damn expensive to do anything and everything anymore. Donna, I got your, she said, how do I give you my entries for someone to use? Let me see if I have my thing over here. Hold on. No, I don't. Give them to me on the next live if you're going to be here because I don't have my notebook that I have everybody's stuff written down. But I have yours, and I got your comment the other day. So I know yours, you want to give them to somebody. So just remind me on the next one, and I'll get my notebook out. So because I got all those written down, those original ones. Yeah, rent has definitely skyrocketed. I'm glad I haven't paid rent in years. I'm glad this house is bought and paid for, and I haven't had to pay for that. That's good, and that's somebody who makes a decent amount of money, and we don't have rent, and it's still tough. And I live in Kansas, where it's supposed to be cheaper. I could imagine living in New York or California. Holy moly! Everybody's wanting breakfast foods now, huh? Steak and eggs does sound good, Linda. I do have steaks in there. We're making steak one day, and then we're having breakfast another day. Well, what's the worst part about the expenses of today? I think the very worst part about all the expenses today is mainly the food. I think if food didn't cost so damn much, and I think that has a lot to do, and being a conservative, this hurts a little on my own part, but I think that has a lot to do with Kennedy coming in. Well, there's a lot to do with COVID, and then Kennedy coming in directly after COVID and wanting to do this whole new nutritious stuff. And now all these, like, you go to Walmart or Dillon's or any grocery store anywhere, and you're gonna pay, you know, 200-300 bucks just to get a couple weeks of food. It's crazy. When my kids were growing up, if we would have had to pay that much for food, we would have never been able to make it, like, ever. I remember going to the store and for like 50, 60 bucks being able to get a week's worth of food. And now we went today and we got what, 3 days worth of food? It cost damn near $200. That's like, steak shouldn't cost like 30 bucks for two. It shouldn't. It shouldn't cost that much. A steak is the easiest thing to get off of a cow. The easiest thing to, I mean, you just cut it off and put it, you know what I mean? It's the easiest thing. It's not ground up, it's not marinated, it's not anything special. It's a steak. But for some odd reason, they're like, you get two steaks and it's like 30 bucks. It's like, at a store, it's about what it costs to go out to Applebee's and eat one. You know what I mean? It's like stores are trying to charge what they're charging when you go out to eat. Like, man, it must be damn near. I'm glad that I make what I make now, and I'm glad that we're not struggling right now. But we still have to make some decisions each week and each month, so we don't go broke. I mean, it's crazy. It says back in the '90s, my 40K a year job was enough for a home, a vacation. Yeah, we haven't even been on vacation. well, we thought we were going to be making enough this year to be able to go on a decent vacation, and then April came around and we just didn't have the money to. I'm buying a truck. That's basically all I've been able to do with the extra money that I get. Is just I'm buying a truck. It's like six. I remember too. Not too long ago, friends and stuff telling me it was like $300 a month to buy a vehicle, and my truck is costing about $600 a month. I mean, but I had bad credit. I just got over bankruptcy and stuff like that when I got it, so I had to take a really cruddy loan. Still, that's a lot of money. I've never owned anything for myself that was nice though, so I really wanted to. I wanted to get a truck. You too, Monica. She said, well, she didn't include me in it, but oh, okay. She said, and everybody. Have a safe peace night. Great weekend. You too. Insurance is a racket, Anthony. I agree with you 100%. Car insurance, and it's like you get in one wreck nowadays and it just ruins your insurance. My daughter got in a wreck and it's just like our insurance just skyrocketed. I think for the four of our cars, we pay over $1,000 a month in insurance, car insurance. It's just stupid. Are you sure? Oh no no no! With my truck payment and our insurance, it's over $1,000. That's right. Yeah. Insurance is expensive, but then they don't really like my truck has full coverage, but if I ever got in a wreck, I still have to pay 1,000. Or if it ever got totaled, I still have to pay 1,000. Like no matter what happens, I still have to pay 1,000. It's like what's full coverage about that? I still have to pay out of pocket. Or like dental insurance. It's like I've got dental insurance, but they only give me $2,000 per year for three people to share. So you got to pick and choose who goes to the dentist that year and who gets work done because everything costs over $1,000. Ooh, hurricane season starts tomorrow. Linda says, "Well, we've been in the swing of tornado season for a while here in Kansas." You're right, Donna. The prices are never going to come back down, and that's one thing that everybody argued during the political season when the presidency and stuff was when they were having the presidential runs. And I was trying to tell people all the time, like, when one of them says we can get the prices down or we can do this to get the price down, or the prices will never go down. As soon as they go up, they will never go back down. As soon as um, Walmart knows that they can charge this much money for food and people are going to buy it and they're going to make that much more money off of it, it's never going to go back down. There's no incentive to have them go back down on food. And you can't do any type of price gouging uh, legislation because then the government just runs that, and anything the government gets involved in, they ruin all of it. Ask the VA how it's working out. Or how much it costs to get a divorce because the government wants to get involved in marriage. None of it makes any sense anymore. Yeah, Anthony, I thought we were going to have to do that. My daughter got wrecked into, well, she was in a wreck. She caused, well, her first wreck was on her, but we only found out later after we paid for everything that it actually wasn't. Her second wreck, a guy ran into her, and I mean, that was months ago, and they just came and picked it up, and they just, like, they weren't going to tell me anything. it was all, they would only tell me anything when I called them. So they'd be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll call you when this and that happens." Okay. Weeks would go by. I'd finally call them. "Oh, well, we got this." It's like they have no incentive to tell you or pay you or anything like that. So I took several months. My car, well, our car, when it got ran into, we were kind of on them, and it only took a month for them to get it all processed through and get us money. Wasn't it like a month? But my daughter's, that insurance company was just, I thought we were gonna have to sue them. I thought we were gonna have to go to the bureau and turn in some information and stuff like that because that guy did not want to dish over any money or anything. You could tell he didn't want to tell us nothing. I just to reach out to him and talk to him on the phone, I would call day after day after day, and then finally get through. I'd always get his voicemail. I'd always be told by somebody there that he was out of town, or he was taking the day off or something like that. Leaving voicemail after voicemail after voicemail. He never called me back, and then I would just randomly get a hold of him one time, and then finally this last time I finally got a, well, I didn't even get a hold of him. I left him a whole message, basically like I was pissed. I was I was not being nice about it. And then I get a text back saying, "Oh, this is how much you're getting back, blah blah blah, when can they come pick up the car?" I'm like, yeah, only because I was basically threatening to sue. Insurance brokers can lose their ability to be insurance brokers if they don't get you paid out and get it all settled, but they will push it. Pat, that's one of those things that said buying $30 steaks until they don't buy them until they lower the price. That's the thing. Everybody still buys them. You buying one set of $30 steaks like isn't gonna make much of a difference. It's everybody would have to do that, but everybody's still buying it. I get it, and I get why vegans think that they can take a stand on animal cruelty and stuff. There's just so many people that still eat animals, it's never going to make a difference. You know what I mean? Like, you would have to get everybody on board to do it. So it's never going to go down because you're never going to get everybody on board to stop. Like, people do control the market. The public controls the market. The people buying control the market, but you can't ever get the public to do anything all at once. So, like, it's never going to make a difference, never going to change it. I wish you could. It takes like collective outrage to get something like that to happen. Like this whole I don't know if you guys know about that kid that got arrested for he's trying to get that guy his life savings $200,000 Lego collection back. And I just watched this the other day, and it's in this Mormon town, and these Mormon police were protecting the Mormon business owners, and basically we're just trampling all over his civil rights like crazy and arresting him constantly, just making up stuff to arrest him for. And the guy that the business owners that he was trying to sue, he was following all the legal things that he was supposed to do, and the guy that he was suing or trying to sue kept calling the cops and like making up stories, like lying, filing a false police report and all sorts of stuff. Like they could all get sued, honestly. They've all violated multiple codes and laws and all sorts of stuff. Um, but basically, once they put all this stuff out on YouTube, there's just a huge collective outrage against this business, and basically they're taking a huge hit. The entire collective, like this is one business owned in a small Mormon city that did this, that stole this $200,000 Lego set, who made this mistake, and the entire corporation, all these businesses are taking a hit for it. Like it seems like only when you're in collective outrage, if somebody has done something that's just grossly um, like immoral or something, then you can get a collective outrage and get things to happen in the market. But most of the time, you just can't get that. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that. Look it up on YouTube. It's actually pretty cool. It's a kid that's trying to help a older couple out that had a $200,000 Lego set as their like life savings, and this business basically stole all of it. Linda, I need to start going to Aldi's more. We have an Aldi's in Derby, which is about 45 minutes away, but I'm thinking about making the trip like once a week just to shop at Aldi's now. There's one in Ponca too, I think, which is only like 30 minutes away. Red Bull's my biggest expense. I need to stop drinking Red Bull. I did for a while. I quit smoking for a while and I quit drinking Red Bull for a while. I've been drinking Red Bull for so long now that I think it's just like in my body chemical, like my body chemistry to like have high blood pressure or something. Like when I don't have Red Bull, I get headaches and I just want to pass out and fall asleep. Like just anytime I'm like a shark. As soon as I stop swimming, I just want to pass out. So, but I was countering the Red Bull by drinking coffee and buying bags of coffee is so much cheaper than Red Bull. I just don't like coffee all that much. I like certain coffees, but not a huge fan of coffee. And you have to wait to heat it up and make it and stuff like that. A Red Bull, you can just open the fridge, crack it open, take a drink. Like, coffee takes too long. But I quit smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee at two different times and got right back into it. I need to stop again. I was wanting to quit them both before the end of this year. So hopefully I can. I'll have to go check that out, Lisa. Somebody's saying that you have pictures and video. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to. We're pretty picky eaters too. Like everybody's foods taste different, and I grew up on specific types of food from Dylan's, and my mom after I moved out started going to Aldi's all the time. But I've been to Aldi's several times, and I come home with their food, and it just has a different taste to it, and it bugs me. It's like not what it should taste like. But I just need to force myself into liking it. Like their macaroni and cheese is not like Kraft macaroni and cheese or Velveeta. Like I love those macaroni and cheeses. Although I can't eat them anymore because those Velveeta macaroni and cheese will and Blue Box macaroni and cheese for some reason both of them will stain the hell out of these. They will stain the hell out of them. I think that's why that first pair got so orange because I was eating them all the time. I've got pods too, Donna. That it still takes a little while. You know what I mean? I bought a whole because I had that same thing in mind because I was like, man, the last time I had like a Mr. Coffee coffee pot. I was making a whole pot of coffee. The first thing I do in the morning is put the coffee on and start getting around. Then I was like, that took too long. So when I quit drinking Red Bull, I got pods, and I like them. Don't get me wrong; they're a whole lot faster. But they still take a little while, and I don't like drinking really, really hot stuff. So I'd have to like wait for it to cool down. I'm just not a hot drink type of person. Susan, I'm glad you were here. She said she thinks it was a lot of fun. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, and they're like they have a knockoff Oreo, I think, from Aldi's that if I remember right, we which I want to try some more knockoff Oreos because you can buy those Lunchables and they have Oreos in some of those Lunchables, but they're not Oreos. And I've really started to like those because I like having Lunchables. Lunchables are pretty good. When you want to get home and have a little bit of a snack, like having some nacho Lunchables or something, they're really good. But I've started really liking the Oreos in there. So I want to try a bunch of knockoff Oreos so I could see which ones make the Lunchable ones. Maybe they're the Aldi's ones. Maybe I like them more now. But they taste way different than Oreos. And I love Oreos. I love cookies and cream, ice cream. I love all Oreos. Oh, the microwavables seem 30 seconds takes so long. Well, it's slowed down a little bit in the chat. It's not nearly as packed as it was earlier. It was fairly packed when I first got on. Wonder if I can go back through and see if there's anybody. I tried to tell everybody, if you have questions, make sure you re-ask them. Yeah, that's a good question. Why not canned foods? Usually any canned foods is pretty good. I seen a commercial where they said Aldi's has steaks that are super cheap. If that's the case, we do need to go up and see if because we love steaks. And that's one thing that I love about these is I eat steaks all the time. That's why we have to buy two steaks for $30 at Walmart because it's about as cheap as you can get it. They're $16 at Brahms. I don't know what they are at Dillon's, but that's about all our choices around here. I live in a very small town, but I seen that they have super cheap meat, and I'm usually pretty shy about getting cheap meat. Most of the cheap meat I've ever had is really not all that good. So I think I'm gonna go there sometime and try to get as much like steak stuff and ground beef. See, we used to get a quarter of a cow. Like my wife's dad would. Well, we didn't get the whole quarter. I think he bought like a half a cow, didn't he? And then he'd split a quarter of it between us, and your sister. So it was less than a quarter, half of a quarter. Um, but we used to get that, and it was grade A meat. And those types of butcher places are supposed to be a lot better. And we were told by a lot of people they'd be a lot better. But we tried to eat that, and it was just different. It just wasn't that good. It didn't even look the same. Like it was red, red. And that's one of those things too is processed foods. Your body and your stomach gets used to processed foods. You've got all these things that are processed to the limit. And maybe I just like more processed foods and the less processed it gets. I just need to get used to that. Like I used to hunt, but I don't really hunt anymore because I don't see any point in like the meat or anything because I don't like deer. It's way too gamey. I haven't had I haven't had non-gamey deer in a long, long time. Or wild turkey, super gamey. Like most wild animals are gamey. But I have a lot of friends who really love eating wild meat, and they say it's so much better than store-bought meat. Probably just they were raised on it, so they don't taste the game. That extra adrenaline that runs through the meat and spoils the meat prior to you eating it. Actually, Walmart has the real Girl Scout cookies now, except for during Girl Scout cookie season. But they have the real Girl Scout cookies now. They actually have the Girl Scouts logo on it and everything. Or they did. Didn't they have that like a month or two ago? Yeah. They had them in these little packs. I bought the Girl Scouts little. Remember they had the little ball things of the Thin Mints, and they were super good. And I gave them to Braden and his friend. They were Girl Scout Thin Mints, but they were these little balls that you could buy at Walmart. So, what's up?
So, so when's dinner?
We're about to start it. I can't. I don't like eggs that are too processed. Like white eggs. I can't eat white eggs anymore. They make me upset to my stomach. I have to have organic grass fed eggs, like real chicken eggs. They have to be brown eggs, or else they upset my stomach so bad. They have so many growth hormones and stuff in those white chicken eggs. It's just It's disgusting. Tiva said she's going to be getting her teeth extracted soon, so only soft foods. I had a lot of macaroni and cheese, soup, and eggs. Eggs you can just make soft and like I would like do sunny side up and then I'd literally dice the eggs up and mush them into like a paste and then just eat it so I had protein. I like buying. I know that the price is high, but I like buying Girl Scout cookies. Number one, because the ones that I like, the peanut butter ones. What are they called? Peanut butter something. It's like a graham cracker with peanut butter in them, and then they're covered in chocolate. They're so good. You can't get them anywhere that are anything like that. And me and my wife love them. But I like the concept of the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. It gives kids something to do other than sit around and watch video games. So I love being able to support that. Get them out camping, get them out scouting, like help these girls out. So, I mean, I'd pay whatever each month just so I could. It's a way to donate and get something in return. So, you're really buying the experience for the girls, not just the cookies. So, I mean, they could raise the price on it every month and I'd still buy some. Well, yeah, they raise the price every year because I mean everything else is more expensive. But peanut butter patties, that's what they are. But I love them, and we I kind of take that into consideration every Girl Scout cookie season. I just we get as many as we can. We usually get a bunch of them. We got us or we used to have a Girl Scout dealer. Now we don't have a dealer anymore. We gotta go find a new dealer. So yeah, but with everything being so expensive too, I mean, just saying dealer, that just reminded me. You got an influx of homeless people nowadays because I mean, drugs are super expensive too, and people would rather do drugs than have to spend all this other. So with everything so costly, like most people would just get to a point. A lot of people, I can see a lot of people just getting to a point that's like, what's the point in trying to eke my way through and try to afford all this crap when I can just go get me a tent, live on the street, and do drugs all day? Like anybody with mental health issues, I mean, that would seem like a good option for them. So then your homeless population doesn't go down, it just skyrockets. Then you've got all these non-profit groups that take thousands and millions of dollars from the government so they can help the homeless, and then all they do is pay themselves like two $300,000 salaries while they do the only thing they do for the homeless is supply these free needles or some stupid crap like cleaning up every now and then, you know what I mean, or giving them t-shirts here and there, like stuff that doesn't cost anything. Like it's all a joke. Yeah, Teresa, I agree with you 100%. I wish I would have had my daughter in Girl Scouts. I think that could have helped her out with her social skills and her social anxiety. I think it would have helped out a ton with that. But at the time, when she was young enough to be in Girl Scouts and stuff, we just didn't have the money for anything like that. I wish I'd have put that two things. I wish I'd have had her in Girl Scouts, and I wish I would have put her in gymnastics because she is the perfect size right now to be the perfect gymnast. And I wished I would have put her in gymnastics back in the day, but it was so expensive. We looked into it and it was just like, God, this is so expensive. I love anything with chocolate. I mean, ooh, by the way, we have. Will you get me a Reese's? They're talking about chocolate and peanut butter on here, and now I want a Reese's really bad.
Those are my Reese's.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is ours. I'm just reminding you of what you say. That's terrible, Teresa. I'm glad that you're not homeless anymore.
They were in the fridge because they were melting in your truck.
Oh, really? I'm glad I've never been homeless. I mean, we got pretty close to it. If Jenny's dad wouldn't have been there to help us out and bail us out multiple times, I'm sure we could have been easily. But luckily, we've had family that in our lowest of lows have been able to help bail us out. Um, I love Reese's. And they're cold Reese's, so it's better. Mm. Teresa, I just don't think that's ever going to happen. I honestly, and I'm not a negative person towards Trump, so I'm not one of those people. In fact, I voted for him because I'm a conservative, and he's more leaning my side than anything else. But I also don't buy into a lot of the things that politicians say during political runs. And they start bringing that up every like midterm or something. And I mean, that was supposed to be out last summer. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. The money Trump promised for everybody, I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that gets brought up every time that there's some sort of a special election or midterm or something, and it's a political tool. Donna, my mom was like that too. While she was waiting, disability takes so long. I mean, so long. The good thing is they give you a ton of back pay, but I think it took my mom 6 or 7 years to finally get disability, and she got back paid for the whole thing. But my sister's the only reason why she didn't end up out on the street because she was living with her and paying all the bills and stuff. And the cruddy thing is when she got her pay, I don't know how much she gave my sister, or if she even paid her back. I hope she did, but I don't know. She bought a whole lot of other stuff. Well, Kreising, it was either one word salad or the other. I mean, I'm telling you, what's her name was a whole lot more of a cackling word salad than Trump was. So that's just my opinion, though. And I can't vote for anybody who supports certain things that go against my religious beliefs. So I can't vote Democrat at all. They just believe too much that's I just don't think is right. I love Skippy peanut butter. I do. I don't like it as much as I like Peter Pan. Peter Pan's the best, but I do love Skippy. Skippy Crunchy is my one of my favorites. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Teresa. I'm glad you came across it. I when I did Dish, I used to put Dish in at a lot of subsidized housing, and some of it in Wichita is pretty good, and some of it is just a mess. I wonder if it's just luck of the draw, whatever you get in. I've never been in subsidized housing before, but I can imagine some of it's actually pretty good. I went to one subsidized housing area over in Wichita that, I mean, each person had their own little fenced-in yard. They were all duplexes, but you had your own little like they were back-to-back duplexes, and each one was a fenced-in yard, and you had a walkway going up to each one of them, and it connected all these duplexes together. It's pretty nice. They hadn't run it down yet. That's because nobody makes money off of subsidized housing, and it's not no fault of their own. Like it's no fault of the people living in it. Those houses just have natural decay and wear and tear, and eventually they just start falling apart. And when they don't make any money, they're not gonna put any more money, invest any more money into it when you're not making anything from it. So they just gradually go to waste, start looking terrible. I do too, Teresa. I really do. And I really don't think it's fair, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, but and I live in southern Kansas. I mean, anything from Texas through um, we have a beef packing plant here in Kansas, in Ark City where I live, and it's like our illegal alien population exploded. I mean, they BlackRock bought up a ton of houses around here, a bunch of nice houses, and moved in because they made money per illegal immigrant. So they would buy these houses and then they would just pack in like 20 illegal immigrants in and make like 300 some dollars a piece off of them. And then so they would make their money back off of these houses that they bought in no time. And there was all these super nice houses that I remember people living in as I was growing up that are just, and they'd get new cars and all this different stuff. All the while, American families, I mean, were struggling and struggling hard. And we were struggling when all this first started. And I remember going to Walmart and scraping $50 together so we could get a few days of food. And I'd be standing in line behind these large groups of families I mean, they'd be stealing candy off the side because I don't think they really understand that it wasn't free. And then they'd roll up with cart after cart after cart, and they would use, um, what do they call them? Food stamps cards, one after the other to pay for these carts and cartload all the time. And I have no idea to this day how these people got so many benefit cards and were able to get so much food and get free housing and get brand new cars and all this different stuff. While just about everybody I knew in this town, that was a natural citizen, was having to watch all this happen while they were just trying to eke their way through and make it work. And so nothing's really changed around here. Ark City is one of those places that as soon as immigration comes around, they start getting on Facebook and alerting them and trying to hide them and all sorts of stuff. So nothing around here has really happened. But I do appreciate, I think it's just only fair that people don't run from their country and come here and just reap the benefits of our tax dollars. I don't think it's fair. I really don't, never have. And that's coming from a guy who was raised by an illegal immigrant for a short period of time. Um, my mom married a guy that was from Mexico that came over here illegally, and we had long talks and stuff about all that stuff. So even they agree. They come over here because of the benefits and stuff during Democratic runs. Like, like every time there's a Democrat voted in, they try to make it here. Like because they know they're going to be able to capitalize on our tax dollars. Like it's on purpose. Not only that, but all the sex slavery and stuff that happened because they were pushing these families through, like all these cartels that were making money off of people and pushing them through the desert and raping women and stuff. Like that was horrible, horrible stuff. And I'm glad that that has almost pretty much stopped on the border. So if anything, you can protect people. I didn't mean to get all political. I try not. I try to stay away from it as much as possible because I know that that's a hot button issue and people can get super PO'd about it. And you can believe what you want to believe. I'll believe what I believe. Mine's based on my religion and statistics that I've seen. Yours is based on whatever you've read or seen or whatever. There's some people out there that just believe everything Facebook tells them. Like, you never know what makes people believe what they believe. But I'm not going to judge you for it. There's reasons why you believe how you believe, and I believe how I believe. Unless it's America, we're allowed to believe different things. That's part of it. First Amendment's about being able to offend people just as much as being offended. Oop, that thing. Well, and part of it too is I always thinking about this. Like, if something like that happened here in our country, like a lot of people say they're escaping a worse place. And I get that. There are some really horrible places out there. And it would be nice if we could take everybody in. If it didn't burden our people, it would be nice if we could take everybody in. It would be very nice. But you've got people in Minnesota stealing $8 billion worth of stuff. Like, that sucks. Um, People using the snaps program like crazy and benefiting from that, and then everyday Americans struggling. It just, if our country ever got to a point where we needed some type of security or something, I'd stand up and fight for my I'd stay here and stand up and fight for my country. I'd try to do something here to change it. So I would just wish that they would stay in their country, not because I want them to just stay there, but because stay there and make your country better. If you like what America has, fight for your country to be that way too. But if you just haul off and run and go to a different country, you're not making any changes. There's just more people that are going to be born into that country, more people that are going to be suppressed in that country, and more people that are going to run to America later. Like, it's just a cycle. So just go back and fight for your country. And I'm sure if you stood up and fought for your country, you could get people from here to fight with you. Like, that would be the better way to do it, I think. And us to spend some of our money, because I think Americans would be cool with our tax dollars if there was like a regime somewhere, like Venezuela, whenever they got that guy out and they wanted to put somebody else in. Like, I think American politicians would be cool with being like, hey, we'll send people down there to help you take your country back. And then we'll send people down there to train you how to make your country like ours. I think a lot of Americans would be like, yes, stay there and make your country better because it's just going to benefit everybody in the American countries instead of just running here and using our tax dollars to benefit. Like, I just, it's the way it should be done. I'm glad some of you guys agree with that. I don't think anybody in America is racist against the illegal immigrants. I really don't. There's too many different races of people being illegal over here. I don't care about what race anybody is. America's been a melting pot for centuries. And the Chinese were in California helping build the railroad. The Irish came over. Italians, like, New York's been a melting pot of like tons of different diverse peoples for a long, long time. Like, race has nothing to do with it at all, in my opinion. It has everything to do with legal or illegal. That's the only thing I really care about is, are you legal or illegal? Like, but the Democrat side, all they want to do is focus on race. And so they try to make people think that, oh, you're just racist against Mexicans. It's like Mexicans aren't the only ones coming up through Mexico. There's Guatemalans that are coming up through Mexico, which are a completely different race and mixture of Aztec Indians and stuff than the other ones. There's Chinese people that are actually coming up through Mexico. There's Somalis coming up through Mexico. Most of the people staying here illegally are actually flying over here and overstaying a visa. But there are multi races that are coming over. So it's actually more racist for Democrats to say you're racist against Mexicans. You know what I mean? Because there's way more than Mexico's actually doing really good, and Mexico's actually kicking Americans out. Like there's a lot of Americans who decided to just swap and move over to Mexico, and now Mexico's getting ticked off and they're kicking the Americans out. And it's actually dangerous for an American to go down there and buy up land and live there, because they'll come find you, just like, you know, some of these other countries are doing. Do what? So they can do it, but we can't. Yeah, it's because asylum was the easiest thing to claim, because they could stay here and they were given a court date and they were released into the middle of the country, and then they never showed up to their court dates. They were given a phone for free and released into the country, and then they never showed up for their court dates, and they would just extend them all the time. So that it was the easiest way to just come here and say, hey, I'm an asylum seeker, and they'd be like, okay, and they'd let them in. And that's abusing our laws. Most of them were just the cartels going over there and grabbing people. I mean, guys showing up with kids that didn't belong to them, and then coming up here and being like, oh, I'm this kid's dad, and we're claiming asylum. And then as soon as they got over, they'd sell that kid into sex slavery. Like, that is terrible. And the cartel person would go back and send that sex slavery money back to the cartels, and the cartels would make tons of money off of that crap and take over swaths of Mexico and murder people and rape people and stuff. Like, that's the worst part of all of it. That's what needs to be stopped more than anything. I am probably going to be, this video is probably going to get demonetized for saying the R word. I forgot you can't say that on YouTube. It just popped into my head. I forgot people always put grape, like the grape emoji. I don't know why you can't say certain words. Certain words just need to hit harder so you can understand just how terrible it is. Like, why can't you say that word? It doesn't make any sense. I agree with you, Anthony. I do. It is a controlling thing. It is so easy to just put that stuff on Facebook, and those people who don't want to actually do research and actually see the truth will just hear what other people read on Facebook and spread it around, and then they believe it wholeheartedly. And it's ignorance, or it's arrogance. Well, it's arrogant ignorance, basically. And I don't know. Oh crap! I didn't realize it's been 2 hours. Everybody's kind of looking at me like, "Are you about to get off of there?" So, sorry, I went into a political thing on the end of this, but it's not what this channel is. But I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. I appreciate every single person. We just kind of deteriorated from talking about dentures into food, and then into, I mean, every time we start talking about the cost of stuff, I just get kind of gut wrenched in my soul, and I see all the wasted money on everybody else, when I wish that our own government would actually come and help most of you guys out. You know what I mean? I really do. and seeing other people make so much money and gain the system so hard, but we've got so many Americans out there that are struggling so hard just to get a $400 pair of dentures or something. It hurts my soul, and I hate seeing it. So um, it just bugs me. So it's gonna just deteriorate into that conversation every time once we start getting into the money side of things and how insurance is a scam and how food costs so much and it's hard to live, and I think this is probably about the fourth or fifth time we've talked about homelessness and such, which sucks. And everybody needs to start just getting used to just doing away with the stigma and just openly being able to talk about things when you want to talk about things. And I don't know. I'll let you guys know when we reach 2,000 on that video, and we'll let you know when there's the next giveaway is gonna happen. So I'm just waiting because the last time part of the rules was to share, but there's no way for me to monitor if you're sharing it. And I think a lot of people didn't share it because that didn't get a whole lot of views. And in fact, I think it only got like the last giveaway video only got like 1,000 views. If everybody that was entered, which was over 200 people entered, 300 people entered, I think. If all those people would have shared, it would have been well over 1,000. It would have been 2, 3, 4,000. So one of the incentives to get people to help share it is by just picking a views count and saying, hey, at this view count, we're going to do the giveaway. So it's the giveaway is not just to give people free stuff, it's also to help this company. That's one of the biggest things that people got to understand, is to help get this company's name in front of people, to show people there's another option. The giveaways are a big part of that. It helps get more eyeballs on it, gets us talking about it more and stuff like that. So the sharing of that is highly important, not just for not for me really. It's mainly the way that I look at it. It's to get more eyes on the company. So because I, like I said, every time that I said it in the video, in the giveaway video, every day I get on and there's at least one person who leaves a comment of, I've never even heard of these before, and it's got over 300,000 views. So it's like, how have you still not heard about this? I've made so many videos on it, this has so many views on it, like, how have you still not heard about it? So every time that I put out a new video and people share it and hype it and things like that, then it helps people get eyeballs on that. Maybe there's somebody out there who hasn't seen the more viewed one, who hasn't seen any one of the other videos in there. We had a new person that on here today that just seen us the other day and is on a live today. You know what I mean? What if that person wouldn't have seen one of these videos if it wasn't shared here or shared there? You know what I mean? Then they wouldn't know about it. And who knows, maybe they'll win one of these giveaways one of these days, and that would have only happened because it was shared, because somebody shared it with somebody. You know what I mean? So that's the way that I kind of look at it. And then if they don't win, you still know that this product exists, and you still know how cheap it is, and you can save up and you can get that. So yeah, I get it. Lady said that doesn't use Facebook. There's other that you can share it on Instagram. You can share it on TikTok. You can share it on what is it called now? X, right? Don't they all have feeds? I don't know. I don't have any of them either. I have an Instagram. I haven't been on it since I was doing 3D printing. I have a TikTok. Well, I have two TikToks. One of them I was doing like 49ers stuff, and the other one I do like music, which I still do that every now and then. The 49ers one I haven't done in a long time. Uh, I have a Facebook, hardly ever get on it. Hardly ever. And then that's about it. So, I mean, you can share these at multiple places, I think, if you have anything other than Facebook. Facebook is a good place to share, but I mean, I don't know if anybody on X knows about them. I don't know if anybody on Instagram knows about them. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I got to get up off here. I'm ready to start eating, so I'm hungry. You guys have yourselves a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next live. I'll see you guys later.